Here for the Monday Night Football doubleheader recap. I am Pratty Sandhu, joined by Jeremiah Sheen. What were your thoughts off the bat there, Jer?
Man, what a first crazy game. Josh Allen is just rolling on all cylinders. Defense is pretty good too there. I'm still on the Buffalo bandwagon. I think they're going to do something this year. Just for those Buffalo fans, man, I just wish them the best. They've been waiting so long. I think, if any fans deserve it, it's Buffalo.
Yeah, they've been waiting for years and years, but they got a big game next week too. They're in Baltimore for Sunday Night Football, so that'll be a huge matchup. Obviously, Buffalo is 1-2, or Buffalo's 3-0. Baltimore is 1-2. So yeah, that one's gonna be a game to look forward to. This game was almost halftime. Jacksonville just didn't show much heart, and no running game, and Mr. Lawrence is in question quite a bit. So interesting to see what happens next week with that divisional game against Houston. Right. So Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns, 263, had like 250 in the first half. He was just showing why he's an MVP candidate, and I think he might be the leader this year in the voting, I would think. And then the other game, big upset. Bengals favored by 8, get beat outright. Jayden Daniels has a showout game. Jamar Chase has his usual baller game, 6 receptions, about 18, 2 touchdowns. But Jayden Daniels and gang, what were your thoughts on that one?
Oh, man, like these guys don't know how to punt, I guess. Is their punter hurt or something? They're just putting up points.
Notice,
7 field goals. 7 field goals the other game. That's, man, like what's the record?
I don't know. They haven't punted in 2 games is what I'm hearing, and I was surprised. I know they didn't punt against the Giants.
Well,
right? They were getting a lot of field goals and whatnot, 4th and outs. But yeah, this game, I think on national television, a lot of people got to see what the Commanders can bring to the table. And I think Eckler got hurt for them, but, Robinson, not the greatest game. Jayden Daniels had 40 yards on the ground himself. Scary Terry did his thing. The other McCaffrey brother did okay. So disappointing loss for Cincinnati once again, 0-3. You lose as I believe it was an 8-9 point favorite against New England. You lose as an 8-point favorite against Washington. You almost beat the defending champs, who you always play really well. But other than that, it's been like a Jekyll and Hyde type of team. And I think they're going into Cincinnati, or they're going into, I should say, Charlotte and the Panthers, Carolina, against Red Rocket. And
Red
that line
Rifle
is just diving. So
Triple R Red Rifle Revenge game.
Red Rifle Revenge.
He's gonna, and if he wants to do that to Las Vegas, I don't even know what he wants to do to Cincinnati. And if they watch any of that tape, I'm sure they can get a few touchdowns against this team. Like, their head coach is supposed to be this defensive guru. Like, they're just embarrassing. Like, I have to stay away from them now for the rest of the year. Any Cincinnati game is pretty well dead to me.
They started 1-2, or I think 0-3 the last 4 years. So they're notorious slow starters. But still, I think they're gonna have to get their shit together. Obviously, they're starting 0-3. I think it's the 16th time they've done a 0-3 in like the last 90 years or whatever the NFL's been around. So pretty upsetting in that division too, right? Like Pittsburgh's 3-0, and they're 0-3, and
yeah, but look at the rest of the division.
Good.
The rest of the division is
well,
not very good either.
Looking pretty 1-2. Yeah, Baltimore is 1-2. Could be 1-3 after they play Buffalo next week. I'm pretty sure that line will dive down a little bit. So
I wonder when the earliest someone's taking a division title is.
Crazy doubleheader. Wow. we're going to find out, I think, pretty soon because Steelers might run away with that division.
Oh, for sure.
And right, they're in Indy. That'll be a tough game. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on which team do you think is for real of the 3-0 teams, and which team do you think is more of a mirage? Not exactly
So
worthy of being
it's
3-0. So it's
remind me
Seattle.
again. Seattle,
Seattle
Pittsburgh,
is
and
3-0. Buffalo, Kansas
Buffalo.
City. You have sorry, let me just check Pittsburgh, and you have that's it. So which of
What
those
about,
teams do you
oh,
think?
did you say Minnesota?
I missed Minnesota. They're 3-0 as well. So my bad.
I bet a lot of people think Minnesota's pretender. I think they're for real. I think they can,
Mhm.
even if they have to rely on the run game a little bit, if Darnold's a little bit hurt or whatever. I think their defense is really showing out, and yeah, watch for Minnesota to at least be in the playoffs, if not
Okay.
winning that division. Um, Kansas City,
Right.
of
So you
course,
see them
they're
as a
for real.
contender.
Buffalo,
Hmm.
100% for real. You've heard me say it time and time again. I think, yeah, I think
Hmm.
they're going to play in the Super Bowl this year. Um, Sorry, it's escaping me now. Oh, the Steelers, they look good. Can they put up the points?
We don't know.
Sorry,
We're gonna
PF.
find out.
Sorry, PF. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to say the Steelers are pretending that they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Let's take a look at the 0-3 teams. I wanted to get your thoughts on who you think's a contender and a pretender out of the 0-3 teams. We saw two of them this week, or today actually. We have Jacksonville, we have Cincinnati, and we have Tennessee. Which of those teams have life, and which team do you think is just a dead team?
It just seems like Jacksonville's giving up. Like the years past, it's like come on, like they were a way better team. Like, and even if they lost, their defense showed up. I don't know if
Mhm.
changing his name to Hines, Joshua Hines, like ruined everything, but change it back,
Yeah.
man, to that beast of a killer, Josh Allen, that just took quarterbacks' heads off. This Hines guy, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going with his mom's maiden name there to pay homage. But
So,
yeah, I mean, I think offensively they're not getting those big chunk plays and explosive plays. And I mean, let's not forget Jacksonville was 8-3 last year before Steffi Graf got hurt there. So, I think tough luck in that Miami game. They had a chance to break it open. They didn't. Cleveland came into their stadium in week 2 and then just asserted their dominance. And here they just got steamrolled by a determined Buffalo team. So it might be just a little bit of a tough patch in the schedule for Jacksonville, or might not be. I think next week's going to be a really pivotal game. Obviously, if you can say must win, because there's no coming back from 0-4. I mean,
has
teams do go on
anyone
winning streaks. I don't
has
think
anyone
so.
in the modern era made the playoffs at
I
0-4?
don't
No.
think so. No, it's almost statistically impossible. But like, as long as you're not losing to your division opponents in those 0-4s or 0-3 streaks, you're doing okay. But you're losing to division opponents and losing 3 or 4 in a row, you're done. So yeah, that was
Uh,
that's that for the 0-3 teams. I think of the 0-3 teams, I would say, I mean, I still think Cincinnati and Jacksonville have some life. Even Tennessee, um, they're going to be undervalued next week in the point spread for sure. So that's what I usually look for, is a little value with these ugly dogs. So an interesting double header, one big upset and one beatdown. And Buffalo rolls on. Washington is now tied with Philly for the NFC East lead.
ooh.
2-1, right? The Commanders going
Let's
into
see what the
Arizona.
Eagles' defense can hand to Jayden Daniels. They're going to be watching that tape, and they're not going to let him do anything that he did in this game. I
Mhm.
think,
Yeah.
the book might be out on Jayden Daniels.
Well, it's if it's not out, it's being written right now. There's a few chapters
Yeah.
to go, right? But he's elusive. He's got a little bit of that Kyler Murray in him, and he's just so like rail thin. I don't know. I worry the kid doesn't get hurt, but so far so good, and be interesting to see how they play in Arizona next week. And we have the Thursday night game coming up in a few days. We'll be recapping that one. We'll be having our best bets, which is on Wednesday night. We'll be recording and publishing that one. Looking forward to that. And anything else you want to throw in there, Jared, to wrap up? Or Monday Night Football recap?
Yeah, not just so disappointed in Cincinnati. It's like they couldn't hold them that one time, come back and
Yeah,
score that touchdown that they scored to win the game. Like all they needed was one stop. I know
they
no one
did.
stopped them yet or whatever, but come on, like
Right.
that's just terrible.
It's funny. Tampa, I mean, like mopped the floor with them, but they still scored on Tampa, and then they moved the ball up and down the field on the Giants. You don't get much credit for that, but you do it on national television. I mean, Daniels only missed 2 passes. He was 21 of 23. Joe Burrow was no slouch, 29 of 38, but still, Commandos are impressive right now. And let's see how the betting market reacts to this, and see how much love they get. But another fun-filled episode here on S&S Pigskin Picks. We're going to be back for another episode on Wednesday night. Please join us then. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on S&S Pigskin Picks.
Peace.
Later.